from what I understood, you went through the 12 steps program.
Lots. Yeah.
What was that experience like?
Well, I'll say this. The 12 steps saved my life for sure. Like, I would not have lived. The people in the 12-step programs really took me in. I mean, dude, I was so angry when I finally got sober because I didn't have my pacifier anymore. I didn't have the thing that was numbing me out. So I'd be sitting in a meeting and I'd be so angry, like radiating, seething anger. Each seat on the side of me would be empty all the time. And then, yeah, there was this crazy guy. I can't say his name out of anonymity, but I'd love to. God bless this guy. There was this crazy dude that would hang out with me and drive me around. This guy was nuts, but he was sober a couple of years. He would get out, have fights in the middle of traffic. Like, he was dealing with his own demons, but dude, he made sure to pick me up, bring me to meetings. Like, this guy, like, and it's like that community aspect was really important. Just like a lot of us were such messes, but we stuck together. And like, you know, there's something to be said about shared struggle. Like, if you think about it, it's pretty common for humans. You'll go through something really difficult with a group of people. At the time while you're going through it, it sucks. And you're like, oh, this is the worst. But oftentimes it's reflected upon quite fondly. Like, if you look in your memory bank, right? My memory bank says, oh, that was a great time because I was doing this thing with these people. And I usually hold those people very close and near and dear to my heart. At the time, it fucking sucked, right? And I think that's what I attribute that to. And I needed to go through the process of the 12 steps. And it took me a long time to actually find somebody that thoroughly went through the process of the 12 steps, which is a whole other conversation in and of itself. Like, but yeah, I had to do the work too, right? So yeah, the community part was great. I also had to do the work. And then I got sober. I'm sober nearly 20 years. And I still have to do work. And I had to go outside of AA to do work because the 12 steps was not healing my emotional trauma. Like, that shit was deep and I needed other help to get through that stuff. Like, I was sober, sort of like a figurehead in the sober community, and very unhappy and very lonely. Despite all the work that I was doing, all the people I was helping, etc. My ideas about relationships were awful, you know? So I needed more help, and it drove me into doing more work. And yeah, so if that answers your question.
With the alcohol and drug abuse, does that continue to be something that you have to work on? Like, once you get over that, is it like a case of it's never gone, or do you get to a stage where like you never need to think about it again?
Well, if you see me with a drink in my hand, run for sure. Like, get away from me. I'm a threat to everybody within 500 feet of me. That being said, I don't think about alcohol or drugs ever. Like, every now and then I'm like, oh man, it'd be nice to smoke a joint today. You know what I mean? Like, on a nice sunny day, driving home, smoking a joint and like enjoy the drive back to San Diego. That would be fantastic. That's not where it would stop, most likely. So I'm not going to do that. As I understand it, I've been returned to sanity as far as I understand what that decision would lead to. So I don't have to spend a lot of time thinking about drugs and alcohol. Because I continue to grow in relationships and feel more connected to the people around me, addiction is a disease of isolation. It's a disease of separation. People that have addictions, it's a way that they can manage that emotion and get some sort of positive feeling where there's a deficit in connection, right? When people that are connected, there's no need to go to the substance. There's no need to go to the other thing. So that's why the community aspect of the 12 steps works so well to get people out. Even I know people that don't drink that didn't do the steps, right? I wouldn't want their life, but they're sober, and because through the community aspect. So yeah, addiction is very much a disease of separation, disconnection, I would say. When you're constantly, my life is focused on building connections. It's what I do for a living. It's what I just do in my world. It's like, I'm out here building connections everywhere I go. I love just supporting people to go after their dreams, take risks, you know, whatever. What have you been thinking about doing? And you won't do it because your family is good. I'll convince you over a lunch to go do that thing, and we'll deal with your family later. Let's take the risk. So if I'm in connection, I don't have to worry about addiction at all.
So that's what you focus on, filling that void with moving forward and helping people and connecting. Is that your sort of the way you keep looking in the right direction, would you say?
Yeah. I mean, there's a spiritual element to the 12 steps, which I would argue that the work of connecting people is a spiritual pursuit, right? Because I have to be okay in here before I can go do that for other people. So yeah, I take care of myself spiritually and emotionally, physically too as well. And then, yeah, the rest, everything else just falls into place, right? Just taking care of me so I can take care of others, right? The more I take care of me, the more of me that's available to go out and take care of others. If my bandwidth is running low, I can't serve you in the same way. I can't serve anybody in the same way. I'm running low. That's when I get selfish. That's when I go into scarcity. That's when I start getting up here and just hyper focused on all the things I don't have.
It's easy thing to do, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Achieving mastery through your martial arts. Like what has martial arts meant for you through your life?
As I said earlier, first it was an outlet. First, I just wanted to be able to rob drug dealers more effectively. So like that was the initial motivation. I just want to be able to hurt people better. As time went on, it became a easy way to access, like look at my fearful reactions within this context. And then there's a place to grow through that and to reflect and to be with my fears, to be honest about them. And then a regular way to practice moving beyond them. Aside from just the technical aspect, like jiu-jitsu in particular is so ever evolving, it never ends. If whatever jiu-jitsu was like at the top level, whatever jiu-jitsu is happening right now in 6 months, a lot of it is going to be like kind of passe. The meta will change. It's not like kind of like the algorithm, right? It's like constantly changing and people are trying to constantly catch up to the algorithm. But yeah, jiu-jitsu is kind of similar in that effect. Like perfection will never be reached, but you do it anyway. Right. And I think that's just so cool. It's like, I'm on this, I'm committed to this path. I wrote something about that today. It's like mastery is committing to a path to some place that you'll never get. But you just do it anyway.
I like that.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's true, right? Like I'm never going to truly master anything. I hope not. Then I'd be really bored. Right. Why jiu-jitsu is so interesting to me now. I'm 42 years old. I'm past my prime in every way possible physically. Right. But I'm still so obsessed with jiu-jitsu because the different dynamics and the way that the bodies interact and the evolution of technique and philosophy and technique that's coming all the time. I just think it's so interesting.